The mediating effect of group mindset in the effect of self-esteem on depression in Korean men and women elderly. The elderly tend to deteriorate in health as age increases, and the health problem of the elderly appear both physical and mentally. Depression and dementia is a common mental problem that occurs in the elderly. It is caused by factors such as illness, impaired physical function, cognitive impairment, emotional control disorder, lack of self-efficacy, and lack of socio-economic support. The problem is that depression doesn't end with depression. For the elderly who are vulnerable to health, depression may lower the satisfaction of life and it may increase the risk of developing physical disease without proper treatment. And it is most dangerous factor for suicide. Nevertheless, elderly depression is not being treated in timely manner because of false beliefs such as thinking that depression is part of normal aging or feelings assumed because depression is caused by individual units. On the other hand, if depression is a negative dimension of mental health in old age, self-esteem is related to self-image evaluation, mainly positive evaluation and the degree of self-respect and value. Self-esteem is formed through perceived confidence and perceived acceptance. Perceived confidence refers to the evaluation of one's own abilities, and perceived acceptance means the importance of others, such as parents, friends, and teachers. It also has a protective factor that promotes and contributes to health or adaptive social behavior. In other words, self-esteem can be seen as a positive dimension of mental health in old age. Self-esteem has a negative effect of depression. People with a high self-esteem are happy, stable, affectionate, and energetic. They acknowledge their abilities and value themselves. People with low self-esteem are more anxious, have poor interpersonal relations, lack self-confidence and relationship, have high ideals, but have characteristics of fear of failure. People with high self-esteem have a frame that gives positive meanings to any stimulus, so they always experience a present emotional state. But people with low self-esteem have a frame that gives negative meaning to any stimulus, so they engage in negative emotion. In such a situation where self-esteem in old age has a negative effect on depression, this study focused on the mediating effect of the growth mindset. Mindset recognizes the possibility of a change in intelligence and personality. People with a growth mindset tend to think that they can overcome difficult and permanently and achieve success through hard work and perseverance. This growth mindset has been studied a lot in the field related to learning and has not yet been studied for the elderly. There are three stages to reveal the mediating effect of the group mindset. Firstly, the independent variable, self-esteem, should have an effect on the dependent variable, the feeling of depression. Secondly, the independent variable, self-esteem, should influence the group mindset. Thirdly, the group mindset, which is the parameter, the dependent variable and the depression. The higher the elderly mindset, the higher their self-esteem will be. Students with fixed mindset should emerge copying low self-esteem and satisfaction with life. The higher the self-esteem by corporate stress more appropriately, and those with a high growth mindset are more flexible with stress. Therefore, the elderly with a high self-esteem positively evaluate themselves in the frustrating situation that they face in the process of achieving their goals, so they will continue to pursue their goals with interest. In summary, the higher your self-esteem, the higher your growth mindset. Furthermore, the higher your growth mindset, the lower your depression. Research on mindset also led to an attitude toward psychopathology. Students with growth mindset tend to try harder or find new strategies when faced with difficulties, while students with fixed mindset tend to think that their abilities are insufficient. In other words, college students with a growth mindset had relatively low anxiety and depression. Summary can be seen that self-esteem has a negative effect on depression. Self-esteem has a positive effect on growth mindset, and growth mindset has a negative effect on depression. Also, considering the difference between male and female elderly in depression, this process is predicted to be different between male and female. The purpose of the study is to verify the mediating effect of growth mindset in the effect of self-esteem on depression in the elderly over 65 years of age. First, whether there are any difference in self-esteem, depression, and growth mindset between elderly Korean men and women. Second, does true growth mindset play a mediating role in the influence of self-esteem on depression for elderly men and women? The subject of this study are men and women aged 65 or older living in the community. For data collection, surveys were conducted in July and August 2019, targeting 363 elderly people living in Seoul, Gyeonggi, and Seosan. The survey was conducted with a cooperation of the head of the institution and the program manager by visiting the local lifelong learning center, general social welfare center, and the general welfare center for the elderly. The celebration scale was visited by translating the scale of Rosenberg. It is a 10 item, 5-point record type scale, and questions 3, 5, 8, 9, and 10 were recording. The reliability current batches alpha value was 809. The group mindset scale was developed by Dweck and adapted by Lee, Park, and Wang. This scale consists of 4 mindset questions about change in human intelligence and 4 questions about personality change. It is a total of 8 questions and a 5-point record scale. The reliability Cronbridge alpha value was 870. As a tool for measuring depression, the CESD scale developed by Radloff was translated and used. It is a 10-item, 5-point default scale. The reliability Cronbridge alpha value was 869. The socio-demographic characteristic of 363 elderly people in this study were divided into gender, age, marital status, education level, religion, and place of residence. The male elderly accounted for 63.6% and the female elderly were 63.4%, with a higher proportion of fair elderly. The average age of the elderly was 63.33 years. In terms of marital status, 78.2% were married and 35% were middle school graduates or lower. To achieve the purpose of this study, t-test analysis were performed using SPSS 21.0 and the model 4 of the SPSS process macro proposed by Hayes was also used. Bootstrap was used to verify mediation effect at the time of verification. The number of bootstrap samples was designated as 5,000 and the confidence interval was set to 95%. Table 1 presents the result of analyzing the difference in self-esteem group mindset and depression according to gender in Korean elderly using t-tester. As shown in Table 1, group mindset showed a significant difference according to the sex of the elderly. In other words, the older men had a higher group mindset than older women. However, the difference between self-esteem and depression according to the sex of the elderly was not significantly significant, as the difference in group mindset between male and female seniors was statistically significant. Was predicted that there would be a difference between male and female in the past, leading to depression through the self-esteem through the group mindset. Therefore, in the subsequent analysis, the elderly men and elderly women were analyzed separately. In the previous analysis, as the difference in the group mindset according to the gender of the elderly was significant. The verification of the mediating rule of the group mindset in the influence of self-esteem on depression was analyzed separately by gender in order to analyze the mediating effect of group mindset in the influence of self-esteem on depression. SPSS macro model was applied and analyzed. In addition, verification of the mediating effect was presented according to the proposals of Zhao et al. And Luko et al. The self-esteem of elderly Korean male negatively affect depression. The higher the self-esteem, the lower the depression risk as a result of analyzing the path of self-esteem to depression through the group mindset. As shown in Figure 3, the mediating effect of the group mindset was not significant. Therefore, in the case of elderly Korean male, the group mindset did not play a mediating role in the effect of self-esteem on depression. The self-esteem of elderly Korean women negatively affect depression. The higher the self-esteem, the lower the depression. Next, as a result of analyzing the path of self-esteem to depression through the growth mindset, the mediating effect of the growth mindset was significant as shown in Figure 5. Therefore, in the case of elderly Korean women, the group mindset was found to play a mediating role in the influence of self-esteem on depression. In other words, it was found that the strong influence of self-esteem on depression was somewhat reduced by the group mindset. The purpose of this study was to verify the mediating effect of the group mindset in the effect of self-esteem on depression in the elderly age 65 or older. We prepare the basic for improving the quality of life of the elderly. To this end, a survey was conducted on 363 elderly people living in Seoul, Gyeonggi, and Seosan in July and August 2019. First, male elderly had a higher growth mindset than female elderly. The gender difference between self-esteem and depression were not statistically significant. In the case of depression, female elderly is generally higher than male elderly. The reason that the difference in depression between male and female elderly in this study was not statistically significant. We can assume the reason that this is because the survey was taken in welfare-centered community. That is because social disconnection affects the depression of elderly female and the elderly with active social pacification have lower levels of depression than those who do not. Second, the significance of the mediating effect of the group mindset was different in the effect of self-esteem on depression according to the gender of the elderly. In the case of elderly Korean males, the mediating effect of the group mindset has not been verified in the past of self-esteem on depression. In other words, the strong negative influence of self-esteem on depression did not decrease due to the growth mindset. In contrast, in the case of elderly Korean women, the growth mindset was found to play a mediating role in the effect of the self-esteem on depression. In other words, it was found that the influence of self-esteem on depression was somehow reduced by the growth mindset. Therefore, it is suggested that self-esteem must be improved in order to reduce depression of elderly male and opposed to improve the growth mindset as well as self-esteem are necessary to reduce depression of elderly female. Host of all self-esteem is the living force of human group mindset, happiness, and stress, the potential for success. This self-esteem can be reached at any age because the feeling of value is learned. It can be learned and it can be changed into something new. Therefore, it is necessary to develop and disseminate education programs for improving self-esteem in terms of welfare and lifelong education for the elderly. Furthermore, it is necessary to improve the group mindset in order to lower the depression of elderly women. The group mindset is a belief in the possibility of a change in individual characteristic and is a belief in self-control in a problem situation. Therefore, even if intelligence such as memory is declining due to aging, it is expected that depression will decrease of the level of self-control is raised and the flexible coping ability for changed situation is improved by continuously educating that such intelligence is changeable.